Welcome to our demonstration of the Generation and Transmission Maximization Model, or GTMax. GTMax is the premier analysis tool for deregulated electricity markets developed by the Center for Energy, Economic, and Environmental Systems Analysis at Argonne National Laboratory. Around the world, the trend toward restructuring, privatization, and deregulation is fundamentally changing the way electricity markets are functioning. Traditionally, vertically integrated market monopolies are unbundled, and new market agents are entering the stage with access to a whole new range of products and instruments. In this new environment, system operators and managers at generation companies around the world must now consider many complex and changing physical, environmental, economic, and institutional constraints when determining how to best use their assets and resources. Argonne developed the GTMax model to provide the different market agents with a tool to study the complex marketing and operational issues prevalent in today's deregulated power markets. Market participants that use the tool include generation companies, independent power producers and power merchants, transmission companies, independent system operators and power exchanges, and government agencies and regulatory oversight bodies. If you are a generation company, IPP, or power merchant, you can use GTMax to estimate how much power each of your units will generate and how much power you can sell each hour and at what price. You can use GTMax to analyze which units will be dispatched in the new market and which will be stranded. And GTMax allows you to study if your investment in power or transmission assets in electricity markets around the world will yield an attractive return. You can also use GTMax to develop a sound market strategy to determine when you should buy and or sell power in the spot market. Furthermore, GTMax will help you determine the purchases and sales from long-term firm contracts and IPP agreements. If you are a transmission company, ISO, or power exchange, you can use GTMax to estimate the locational hourly market clearing price for energy at different points in the network. GTMax will help you determine the projected available transmission capability each hour in the region on specific links or user-specified paths. These projected capabilities are consistent for posting on Open Access Same-Time Information Systems, or OASIS. You can use GTMax to determine the optimal path of contractual power flows across your transmission network. GTMax will assist in identifying operational and network bottlenecks and the marginal value of relieving any system constraints. And you can use GTMax to conduct screening and siting analyses for new transmission lines. If you are a government agency or regulatory and oversight body, GTMax will allow you to identify the potential for market power and market manipulation by analyzing different bidding behavior and strategies. The model also enables you to study the effects of market gaming in terms of price and reliability impacts. You can use GTMax to investigate different open market policies. GTMax will also help you simulate the effects of environmental constraints on power plant operations and compute environmental compliance costs. And you can use GTMax to analyze the value of demand-side management and distributed generation resources. GTMax balances supply and demand to find the market clearing prices at each point in the network. Generators are loaded according to their marginal production cost or their market bid price. Demand is price responsive, and high prices will result in demand curtailment. The model maximizes net revenues for the entire system while ensuring that the market transactions and system operations are within physical and institutional limitations. In simulating multiple systems, GTMax identifies utilities and assets that can successfully compete in the market by tracking hourly energy transactions, costs, and revenues. The model operates at a 1-hour time step and solves for a single week. Weekly runs can be performed in sequence. In its simulation, the model takes into account all hydro and thermal generation resources, any operational restrictions, projected spot market prices, firm power purchase contracts, information on cascades of hydropower stations, information on demand curtailment, and information about the transmission and distribution network. The model results include the value of energy and the value of energy conservation measures, information on unit commitment, hourly generation for each resource, revenues and expenses, power purchases and sales on the spot market, reservoir operations, and the contractual power flows along transmission paths. GTMax simulates regional or national generation and transmission network systems. Networks consist of nodes and links. Generation or supply resource nodes include hydro and thermal power plants, firm purchase contracts and independent power producers, incoming interchanges, and spot market purchases. Demand nodes include service territory load centers, firm contract loads, outgoing interchanges, and sales to the spot market. The transmission system links the nodes together. Links can represent either single or multiple transmission lines with two-directional energy flows and transfer limits. GTMax accounts for composite transfer capabilities and computes available transfer capabilities consistent for posting on Oasis. There are several supply resources available in the model. These include thermal power plants, cogeneration units or combined heat and power plants, hydropower stations that include run-of-river, storage units, pumped storage, and hydro cascades. Supply resources also include long-term firm power purchase contracts, IPP agreements, and spot market purchases. GTMax supply resources will satisfy the demand from a variety of load categories, including service territory load centers, firm contract loads, spot market demands, and heat loads. GTMax allows you to define firm transmission contracts. You may specify both the path as well as the hourly transfer obligations. For improved flexibility, you can divide your power system into a variety of different regions. The model will then report results by region, as well as for the entire network. GTMax employs a user-friendly Geographical Information System, or GIS, interface. The interface is designed to facilitate the construction of a network representation of your power system. You can point and click on a map of utility power plants and other system components to modify input data and obtain optimization results. A map displays hourly energy flows from supply resources such as generators and IPP firm contract purchases to load centers and spot market delivery points. Energy and financial results are also output in the form of easy-to-understand tables and graphs. Thank you for viewing this introduction to GTMax. You may now proceed to view the other sections of this overview that will show the model in more detail.